Hi, my name's Rick Oakland. I'm the developer of Retro Spaceball. I've been making devlogs for just over 2 years, on and off, accumulating to about 160 hours, just over 160 hours of devlogs, using Unity and various other software. So I decided to make time-lapse footage of it, and I've been condensing it down to different lengths and finding that when it's really short, it's actually enough to make you sick. So if at any point you feel like you're getting sick, definitely just look away and focus on something else. But this is about 11 minutes, so 160 hours about condensed down to 11 minutes. So this shouldn't be too bad. So this first part, I'm actually working in PINBALL, which is free software. And I was using it just because it was free, and I did not want to pay money for Asebright yet, and I wanted to do more research before I purchased Asebright. I did find, however, that Asebright was the correct tool for the job. I was just reluctant to spend the money, and that's fine. Everything ported over great. I liked using PINBALL because it was free, but it did definitely have limitations. And then it worked great with Unity, so for the price it was pretty awesome. Here I'm just writing the script for the enemy that I made and setting up the animator, and then I'm in LMMS, which is free software here. You can see I'm using a lot of the free VST plugins, and then also some VST plugins that I had found over the years. It is 32-bit instead of 64-bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm making a level menu finally. I had a couple levels in the game that you could play, and I wanted to access a menu to get to more levels of it because I had started making more levels here. And I wanted to put it on a phone, so I started doing the Android SDK stuff there. And here I built it to a WebGL and testing the level menu that I made. Looks like I finished it, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I'm back to making music here. You can see all the different plugins and some patterns that I've made, and that was BFXR, which is a great sound effects plugin. And it's actually built into LMMS, and I think I was showing that off there. Yeah, so I'm making the pattern here for the background music for Retro Spaceball. Yeah. I didn't have any of my overlay, or I didn't have a webcam yet. I don't think I even had, I think I had a terrible microphone. I think that was the case. Yeah, so it looks like I'm just testing the game, starting a new stream, and then going back to making music. It looks like I built another WebGL version. I was making music while it was building. But I'm still back to making that audio track. It took a long time actually to make it. And then here I'm making spaceships. Now I actually never put these spaceships into the game. I still have them, and I just have not done anything with them. I plan to still use them and even make more. I just have not gotten to that part of the game yet. Let's see here. So here I'm building a tutorial level that I will actually eventually end up ditching. Building a tutorial was actually a very difficult part of this process for me. The game itself is mixing two genres, which is not something that's easy to do if it's never been done before, and I still haven't found anything quite like what I'm making yet, which makes testing very difficult, but it's also unique that way. It kind of has its own surprises, and it's interesting to develop this game. So I ended up scrapping that whole level, but using a lot of the mechanics that I had made for it. And I think I scrapped that art too. I don't know. I think that was going to be like a bullet. And maybe I'll use it. I don't have a purpose for it. I think I was just like, I'll make a bullet. Yeah, so here I'm back in LMMS, but it looks like I was just fixing something, so I'm back and just making yes, this is hard to narrate. So I'm making a game here, and I'm testing, and it looks like I'm starting a new stream here. I'll probably cut these out. So I test other people's games too, and I'm testing my old games in front of people. to show some of the old stuff that I've been doing. Yeah, and I went through my portfolio very quickly there. And I'm back to testing, and it looks like I finished that tutorial level, and I'm beating it very quickly, or at least it appears that way, but it still took like about a minute or two to beat, and here I'm testing it again, and I'm making these level warp pipes that are going to move the ball around, and this tutorial had like way too much going on with it. I was building all these mechanics for it to try to keep the game interesting and explain the game to the player, but not make it boring, and show how it could be, you know, like, oh, this could be cool down the road. It looks like I'm doing something on Facebook and playing someone else's game here. But that tutorial just ended up, because it was horizontal and the whole game was vertical, it kind of took away from the whole core gameplay, which the idea is to get the ball to the top. Like, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to like push it to the side. I guess to me it kind of opened up the ideas and stuff, like got the creative juices flowing about what you could do with this ball. Oh, and here I'm working on a boss. It looks like I made that level very quickly, but it actually took some time. And then I'm building the boss, which actually took even more time. And at one point you see me whiteboarding it and going over the details with someone, and here I'm making the art for the destruction of the weak points for the boss in PINBALL again. Towards the end of this video I'll have switched to A-Spray, but oh, and here I actually never have implemented those blinky arrows or that caution arrow. I don't think I liked the way the caution arrow looked when it was done. And that level there I actually completely scrapped eventually. I just couldn't get it to be fun, and it was just too wide open, and it was an experiment to begin with anyways. But yeah, some experiments are meant to be scrapped. Yeah, so here I'm still working on that boss. I've got the animator set up. Yeah, here I'm working on the mute button. I'm showing off some of my stuff again. Looking at Marble Works, talking about old projects. Let's see here. Back to music, just looking at other people's projects, my own projects, my own projects, other people's projects, my projects, Earthbound, I don't know, my own projects. I'm going through everything here. My portfolio, back to the game. Yeah. So here's my itch analytics from that day. Here I am playing someone else's game here. It was like a Worms clone, which is actually kind of cool. He had a tower defense game and a game about arms for Ludum Dare. But yeah, I was talking to a lot of different people and just kind of testing their games real quickly during the stream. Yeah, and just making friends that way, which was fun. I met a lot of cool people on Twitch. Here I am trying to finish the boss and making bullets for it. And you can see I used a technique there where I swapped out random colors for the colors I was actually going to use. That way I could keep track of the different frames. I think I'm finally getting the boss to work at that point, or close to. Looks like I'm going back over some of my other work, doing audio now. It looks like I'm trying to implement the mute button, as well as just get everything working. There, I made a block real quick, I made an enemy real quick, I made a switch real quick. Another block, I actually never put that one in the game, but I did put that into the game. It's like a portal thing. There I made a more optimized version of the block, which I actually just took out those blocks. And then we got the lasers. The lasers are actually pretty quick to make. And then we've got that tube from the tutorial level, which is kind of easy to just throw in there since I'd already made the mechanics. The text is moving around here. testing and showing off. Okay, working on this enemy, which actually has like movement involved, but it's not very well optimized, so I don't actually use very many in the game. And they're just kind of a fun, easy enemy anyways. And here I'm working on this giant boss that took me like a whole year to actually put into the game, like start to finish, which was kind of interesting. But I was working very cyclical here, as you could probably tell, that I was jumping around from different things and not exactly finishing every little aspect that I was getting into, and then coming back around to it eventually, depending on what it was. Like that boss, I kind of sat there and did it. Oh, and this was Magical Miguel, I believe, or something. Magic Miguel. Yeah, someone else's game I was playing. And back to the boss here. I actually spent quite some time on it. And then this level, I had actually drawn up a sketch of. I put in a control menu for mobile there, so that way if you were playing the mobile build and you hit the controls button, it would show you how to play on mobile. I put the install disk on the WebGL. I'm playing Light Switch Crusader, one of my other games that was a team project. Let's see. Oh, and here, this is in the future. I jumped about a year where I wasn't streaming. And then, as you can see, new apartment, working on pixel art and Sprite. I guess I'm a little bit quicker, but not like a whole lot. I'm still doing a lot of guessing. And thanks for watching. It's about to end. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you check out Retro Spaceball. Thanks.